Hi, everyone. My name is Sophie. I'm the Chief Commercial Officer at Bambuser. I'm here to tell you why you don't want to miss the biggest game changer in retail, live video shopping. But first, I'd like to start with a really short story. We go back to late 2019. I am traveling to meet retailers and brands because, yes, this is when you still could travel and meet people. So convinced. We at Bambuser just discovered this next big thing, and it's just a matter of doing it right. Live video shopping. Oh, did we get some raised eyebrows and some, really? We did. But more importantly, we also met some trailblazing, brave, game changing retailers and brands. And if you fast forward a year and a half to early 2021, this is where live video shopping outside of China has taken us. And please, there should be a video to play.
شو راح أعرض هذا الأكل؟
Viermal für meine
20% de descuento.
Beli oleh Korea Keris. Nih, atau kalian mau pakai
Write them down in the comment section.
paling do estilo, traz todos.
Thank you. So, in early 2021, we counted more than 2,800 live shopping shows, amounting to the astonishing 8 million minutes, covering 195 countries in 34 languages. That's where live shopping has taken us. This is how we have taken off and what traction this medium is getting. And, my friends, beauty stands for 23% of those live shopping sessions. So, let's start with the basics. When I speak about live video shopping and when everyone speaks about social commerce, what are we talking about? In this case, it's a live stream that you can stream either from a mobile phone or external cameras like a production company to unlimited viewers. There's no app download, there's no login. The viewers just browse onto your website and go straight into a live show. In the live show, they can chat, they can like, they can send emojis, and most importantly, for the first time, they can see the products you highlight, they can explore, discover size, colors, ingredients, and they can add to cart in stream. And it's platform agnostic. For beauty, which is the best performance segment, when I say what best in class look like, we look at beauty. Your industry is averaging 14.39 seconds a live show. A viewer coming into a live stream about beauty on a live shopping show stays for almost 15 minutes. I like you to just compare it to what we know is the average stay on an e-commerce site, roughly around 3 minutes. When it comes to likes, more than a third, or roughly a third, are sending hearts and likes of appreciation when watching the show, and 25%, so a fourth of the viewers, are chatting with you, interacting with the beauty brand. We have an add to cart click rate of 26%, meaning that out of 100 viewers, 26 products are added to cart as the show is going. When it comes down to beauty, I think you all understand that there's something very special going on when we have a video meeting your audience. We all interact through video. We're on a Hangout, you Zoom, you FaceTime, you Instagram, everything. But when it comes to beauty, what are the trends that we are seeing after this year and a half leading live shopping in the Western world? First of all, in the beauty segment, we're seeing that it's a trend both towards influencers and experts. Yes, you can put a KOL, some of your main influencers in front of the camera to host a show, but it works equally as well with experts. People love to tune in to meet with your dermatologist, your makeup artist, so don't feel like you have to have an influencer base or that kind of beauty brand to be successful in live video shopping. You can be equally as successful with experts. This is real-time customer feedback. One of the key learnings from our best performing beauty and skincare brands is that this is really where you can discover what topics speaks to your audience. What are the favorite posts? How long and how frequent should you do live streams? This is the perfect way of making sure that your dialogue, your connection with your consumers is a true dialogue. We're no longer speaking about a static HTML page with a picture, some text, and a buy button. We're speaking about a true dialogue where your community, your potential customers can interact and ask those questions that will shorten their purchase funnel and their decision making. And finally, what you know with live video shopping is that you're bridging the online-offline gap in a very natural way. Give you a few examples. Back in those days when we could travel, when normal was normal, you could walk up to a beauty counter, you could go into a store, you could meet with a makeup artist, and you could get all those on-hand advice and expert tutorials that you needed. In the world of today, you can do that online. We have everything from beauty brands having their makeup artists or the dermatologist online, but also having those super skilled store staff, the people that are usually serving your clients in store, have them serve them online. Make sure that you maximize the potential and the skill set of your teams. Events versus evergreen content. Another thing that has kind of evolved over the last 12 months in this landscape is that what started off as a lot of brands doing events, grand productions, maybe once a month, 2-3 times a quarter, has turned into what we call evergreen content, sort of a long tail of evergreen content. So you do make your events, you do these things you can no longer do maybe in store, but you also create all this video content that you need for your newsletters, for your social medias, maybe some short videos on your product pages. So there's a way of making everything that you can shop online, you can shop through video, and everything in your content strategy on your website, for your brand, on your e-com website, make it video first. In that way, you can make sure that everything from the events to the expert, to the tutorial, to the customer success, everything can be covered with live video shopping. So starting off where I did back in 2019, when we had just got this idea of being onto something big, and fast forward onto 2021, where we are now, when we are seeing this really taking off. I hope that I have tickled your interest. There is some curiosity around what you can actually do with live shopping, and that you'd really see the potential, especially for the beauty and the skincare landscape, to work and create in video and make that video interactive for live video shopping. And that was, if I may, I stopped present my screen. So, hi, Liz.
Hi.
Are there any open questions or anything you want me to elaborate around when it comes to live shopping and beauty?
Yeah. So, we've seen such an explosion in live streaming over the course of the pandemic. What are your thoughts on, what we've been seeing in Asia compared to what we've been seeing in the United States? Do you think the United States can become a major live streaming destination like we've seen in Asia?
I definitely think so. I think to start with, it's two very different landscapes. In China and Asia, you have a lot of major dominating platforms, which you do not have in the Western world, and you don't have them in the US. I think it's going to be more of a fraction landscape where you're going to do a live stream and live shopping on multiple platforms. Coresight Research launched just a few weeks ago a report stating that the live shopping industry in the United States only will count to roughly $23 billion by 2023. So there's definitely the potential. There's definitely, a market to go after.
Wow. And then what about the generational difference? Are we going to see Gen Z shopping through live streaming the way we've seen our parents' generation shopping through QVC?
That could be a nice way of putting it. I do think, however, that just like we started out believing it was more of an event influencer driven tool, and we realized it's become an expert and sort of evergreen content tool, we have also seen that what we believe to be primarily a Gen Z sort of channel has definitely become a channel for all ages. We have multi-brand retailers within beauty and skincare all across Europe that are doing everything from television commercials to attracting consumers and then, clients up to their 50s. So I think it comes down to how you create your content, depending on your target audience. If you're aiming for Gen Zs, you might do it in one specific way. If you're aiming for, let's say, millennials like myself or even elder people, you're probably targeted slightly differently. But yeah, I would say this could be sort of the next generation, both of retail and the next generation of QVC. For the first time, though, it's interactive. It's truly interactive.
Great. And then what is the role of celebrities and influencers in a live stream? How important is it to have a big name participating, or what are your recommendations for types of content?
I think it comes down to, like in all successful communication and marketing campaigns, it comes down to your audience. If you are after an audience that are triggered and inspired let's say, large influencers, it's definitely the way to go. What we see sometimes is that you can work sort of in two ways with content. You can go after what we tend to call inspirational or after educational. And if you go after inspirational content, you're usually working with influencer, KOLs, celebrities, and sort of the main purpose of the live stream is to give, to inspire, to maybe, contextualize. It might be occasion driven. While if you work with, let's say, more of an educational touch, you might leave the influencer behind and you go for the expert that can go deeper into, product, the components, the ingredients, how to combine, how to think, how to match. So I think it's, back to very successful communication. Who are you addressing? What's your audience? And you can go both ways.
And what are your predictions for the landscape of live streaming post-pandemic, now that we're seeing kind of the light at the end of the tunnel? How is it going to fit into the retail landscape?
I think, like everything in human culture, what you like and what's sort of become an improvement, you don't go back. So, we won't stop doing FaceTime calls just because we can actually see each other. We'd rather prefer to maybe FaceTime than just call each other. And I think that will reflect on retail as well. Anyone wants to go back, to a store to meet, a store assistant at a counter, and that will happen. But I think once we become used to shop the way we interact, which means sort of the next generation of shopping, when we can see things in video, we can ask questions about size and about colors, when we can sort of get all those affirmations and explanations that we need to make a purchase. We don't want to go back to that static HTML page where there's like two pictures you can zoom and then you need to figure out things by yourself. I think, once we get used to this way of interacting and shopping, it will stay. And I also think that when it will not be just a substitute for going to stores, it will kind of take on new dimensions and start becoming so much more.
And then with your clients, what have you seen in terms of the value of interaction with the audience and answering audience questions? How important is that in the course of a live stream?
I would say in a specific live stream, it makes the entire difference. We see roughly, twice as high engagement when the show is live compared to when, someone can watch it in replay mode. So it definitely triggers, we know that if people like, they're more likely to then comment. When they comment, they're more likely to add something to cart because all of a sudden they feel more invested and engaged in the show. So live definitely increases engagement, and engagements increases sales. But I also think that from like a larger perspective, everything that's live kind of amplifies the entire shopping experience.
And we've been hearing a lot about how during the pandemic, social content has so much more focused on authenticity. Where does live streaming kind of factor into that? Does that kind of add that feeling of authenticity that brands and consumers are looking for?
First and foremost, you can do live streaming as you'd prefer. So if you want to go sort of, polished, high ambition production company kind of live shows, those are doable. But I would say that a lot of live shows are done in a more authentic way. And I think it's just an evolution of how we have seen sort of the media landscape go from, the internet started out with text, then text became images, then images became video. And I think in sort of the social media landscape, we have seen that we went from, the blogs, and when the blogs became too polished, then we went over to Instagram. And when the Instagram feed became too polished, then we searched for authenticity in the stories, in the Insta stories. And I think this is just sort of following that evolution, like this continuous search for authenticity from the consumers. And we know that the younger generations are, the Vogue generations. They know that there's so much more behind than just, that glossy first page. And that's where live streaming can really add value to connect on a true level with your community and your audience, but also to kind of convey a brand that we know is not fake, that we know is authentic. If you see something live, everything can happen. The logo can fall off the wall. Someone can, say something funny that wasn't intended to be there, but it also shows sort of the true nature of the brand.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much, Sophie, for your time and for discussing this very buzzy topic.